Okay, right. I think we're ready to get started. So thanks very much, everyone, for joining us here for this Zoom press conference ahead of tomorrow's game, England versus Australia. We're joined by Eoin Morgan, England captain. Thank you very much for your time, Eoin. We will open the floor for questions. First, can I ask, in a slight change to usual proceedings, that you pop your name in the chat if you do have a question you'd like to ask Eoin, and I'll be now handing over to Danny at ECB, who will be selecting those questions. Just obvious bits of housekeeping. Can I ask everyone to remain on mute and also to turn their videos off, please? And without further ado, I think it's over to you, Danny.
Yeah, thanks everyone. We're going to start with, I think Chris Hall's on the call from Sky Sports News. We'll start with Chris and then we'll move on to David Charles. We'll try and give some priority to the UK media. But we'll obviously take questions from around the world as well. So, Chris, if you're ready, please go ahead. I think you're on mute, Chris, as well.
Could I have recording permissions, please, Danny?
Yeah, that'll be down to Callum, sorry. I think Callum will be able to provide that at the end of the press conference.
Correct, Chris. We'll give you access to the online media zone where you'll be able to pull the recording from.
Thank you, sir. Just very quickly, Danny, how many questions have I got? Because I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Yeah, no worries. We'll give you 4 and then we'll move on to everyone else. Go ahead, no problem.
Lovely. Eoin, many congratulations on your start to this World Cup. Absolutely sensational. 2 wins out of 2. This obviously is a game now between 2 of 3 teams which have got a 100% record in the Super 12 games. Just give me your assessment of just how pivotal this game could be in terms of reaching the semi-final.
Here, I think it's probably going to be one of our most difficult games in this group stage. Australia are a very strong side. They've gone 2 from 2, very much like us, and have started the tournament well. I think one thing that we'll be most proud of so far is our level of performance and intensity has been pretty good in the 2 games that we've played. Obviously, the challenge is continuing that for our next 3 games in pursuit of getting through to that next phase of the tournament.
Eoin, can I ask you about the strengths of Australia? Of course, we saw David Warner finding some form with a great knock against Sri Lanka. Your thoughts on this Australian side? Yeah,
Australia are a very strong side. Obviously, coming into the tournament, they probably would have been considered joint second favourites along with us. They're a side that we know pretty well. We've played against them a lot over a number of years. So looking forward to a really good game.
Eoin, just 2 final ones. Can I just ask you about a couple of your players? Of course, Jason Roy had a landmark day against Bangladesh with a man of the match performance. And Tymon Mills was absolutely exceptional. Just talk to me about those 2 stories and those 2 individuals, because of course, if Jason has a big tournament, England should do well. And Tymon Mills, his story in recent months and years is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it truly is amazing. Probably starting with Tymon, the journey that he's been on has probably been one of the most challenging we've ever seen anybody who's played an England shirt for as long as he has. It's obviously very tough being a fast bowler, dealing with injury and different challenges and variants throughout your career. But I think he's had some of the most arduous challenges to overcome, and full credit to him. He's come through things. He's as you can see at the moment, he's bowling pretty well and is very effective for us. He's also a great team man to have around, which obviously lends to our team culture and team morale. Jason has been part of the squad now since 2015. He completely embodies everything that this side is about in regards to the style of cricket we play and the people that we want to be as role models. You know, the way he's performed, particularly in the last game, was outstanding on a challenging wicket against a challenging team. So hopefully he continues his fine form throughout this tournament.
My final question, Eoin, just to stick to my 4 questions. I just wondered ahead of this game, have you got any anti-racism messages that you're going to embrace? And obviously, before the last game with the ICC, they informed you couldn't wear your anti-racism T-shirts. Then we had the Quinton de Kock situation a couple of days ago, getting in a muddle with South Africa over whether he had the right to take the knee or not. And then yesterday, domestically, we had the Yorkshire announcement on the Rafiq matter, which I thought many people felt was underwhelming. I just wonder, can I get your view? Is there a danger that there's a perception globally and domestically that cricket might have a problem with a consistent approach to tackling racism, Eoin?
I hope not. Certainly from our side of things, not being allowed to have our moment of unity before a game is something that we've talked about during the 2 games that we've played. Later this afternoon, we're going to talk about it again, because if we're not allowed to, I suppose, take our stance against all discriminations, we need to try and find something else that makes a difference for this period of time. We're obviously allowed to do it in bilateral series, both home and away, and given permissions that have been accepted in different countries, probably over the last year or so. So we'll speak as a team and try and come up with something that we can do.
Eoin, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. We'll go on to David Charlesworth and then Tim Wigmore. Go ahead, David.
Thanks, Danny. Eoin, can I just start by asking about how Mark Wood and Tom Curran are? Will they be available tomorrow?
Yeah, they're progressing really well. I suppose where we were before the first game, they've come on a long way. We're going to make a call on that tomorrow to see how training is, and then tomorrow with treatment as well to make a call on.
Mm-hmm. Is there any concern that in night matches, especially in Dubai, the team chasing seems to have a bit of more of an advantage, making the toss that bit more crucial?
Here, there's always an advantage in chasing, like statistically, regardless of the country that you're playing in. So, we've only played one night game so far, and there actually was no dew throughout the whole evening, even though the game didn't go the full duration. And in other games that I have watched, there hasn't been a considerable difference in batting or bowling first. It's obviously just a different challenge. I think with that, traditionally, day games, you would win the toss and bat first, set a total, the sun bakes the wicket changes. But we haven't seen that either. So I don't know if it's the standard that's being played or it's more of an advantage than it normally is.
Mm-hmm. Now, both teams have a world-class leg spinner. They've both done really well in a one match in Dubai. And they both made quite the impression last year in the limited overs matches between the teams. So do you think how the batters fare against them tomorrow could determine the outcome, or could go a long way to determining the outcome?
I don't think purely on 2 players the game stands alone. I think both sides are really strong. We've played unbelievably competitive games over the years, and even more recently, 50-over games and T20 games that we've played. 2 good, strong sides going at it, which is always good entertainment and great to play in as well. So I don't think the game rests on their particular shoulders.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. Let's go to Tim Wigmore and then Lawrence Booth.
Hi, Eoin. We saw with Sri Lanka yesterday against Australia, they sort of seemed to target their 5th bowler a little bit. I think they went for over 50. There's overs between Maxwell and Stoinis. Is that going to be potentially a plan for England as well?
From what I watched, Sri Lanka played pretty hard against all of them. I don't think it was a conscious effort to go after 1 or 2 of their bowlers. And I think on any given day, if you go in with a preempted view on targeting somebody or one person, it normally doesn't allow you to take in information during the game, form, how people are actually bowling in reality, as opposed to just a preconceived idea.
Okay, let's move on to Lawrence then, please.
Hi, Owen. Just going back to the question of what gesture you might do before the game. Is there any reason you won't simply carry on taking a knee as you've done in the first 2 matches?
Here, I think that's a chance, Lawrence. I think one thing that we've always talked about when we talk about collective message being more powerful is that everybody agrees to what we're buying into. And when we initially started our talk about our culture piece, we talked at length and didn't really want to commit to anything unless everybody wanted to do it, because we feel that's the best way to try and both raise awareness, educate, and I suppose come across a more powerful message. So again, we'll talk at length about that today, but also we are quite restricted in what we can do at ICC events. So, there's a chance that might happen.
Yeah, fair enough. And does it depend what Australia do, or you'll make your own decision regardless?
No, we'll talk about it as a team, and we'll make a decision. And then if we I suppose come to something that can be supported by Australia, we will obviously speak to them and see what their thoughts are as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lawrence. Chris Stocks, please, and then Dean Wilson.
Hi, Owen. I just wondered if you thought if this match could have any psychological effect at all on the Ashes that's coming up later this winter, even if it's small.
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever. Okay, so unleashing Mark Wood, for example, might not be advantageous for Joe Root a couple of months down the line if he does well.
I've played test matches. I've played 50 over and T20 for a long period of time. There was a time and a place where 50 over cricket was closely aligned with test match cricket and the way that it was played, probably particularly top of the order and how your quicks bowled. But I think white ball cricket has moved so far away from red ball cricket that there's day and night between a psychological blow in one format in comparison to the other.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Dean Wilson, please.
Hi, Owen. I just wondered what you thought the key to playing against and being successful against Australia was. You've played against them 70 times in your career now, which is quite a lot of cricket. What have you learned over the course of those 70 matches that can inform you and help you and the team go into this game tomorrow?
I suppose you learn a hell of a lot about how they play their cricket, how disciplined they can be, and I suppose when they get on top, they can be difficult side to play against when you try and wrestle momentum back. I think the challenge for, I suppose, us and them is that we're not playing at home, so trying to adapt our style of play to conditions over here to try and win the game. So I think using, I suppose, a little bit of that experience I talked about to try and achieve that, and then I suppose unravel a game as it unfolds according to conditions, as opposed to just against the opposition, I think it's important.
It sounds to me like getting yourselves out in front early is a really good ploy, that you'd much rather them try and wrestle it momentum from you rather than the other way around.
I think early momentum in any game can go a long way to winning a game, but like we've witnessed us play over the last couple of years, if we don't manage to gain that momentum, I think we have guys that can either wrestle it back or counter punch. I think that's probably what makes us a difficult side to play against. We always have a hand or a trick to play, regardless of the situation that we're in.
And do you get excited the night before? Is it a bit like Christmas Eve for you, about to face them with everything that's kind of loaded with it? A lot of fans will probably be getting quite excited tonight.
Yeah, for a night game the following day, not as much. It's probably more so on the day of the game. If we were playing early morning tomorrow, possibly midday time, yeah, you'd be excited the night before the game. But because it's a 6 o'clock start tomorrow, it's a chilled evening, and then you turn the page tomorrow and look at the task ahead.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dean. Tariq Qureshi, please.
Hi, Owen. Just looking back at the last game against Bangladesh, as well as England played, it was quite clear Bangladesh underperformed. They looked sort of short of confidence, flattened the field. In that context, how easy is it to judge England's performance?
Quite easy, actually. I find it quite natural for me to be able to detach emotion from logical things that are going on or happening in the game. And I think it's probably been a little bit unfair to Bangladesh. I thought we played really, really well. I thought we were disciplined with the ball. We hit really good lengths. We created opportunity when, I suppose, not when it came about, but when it wasn't necessarily there. I think we forced them to make mistakes by playing really well. And sometimes that can look the way that you're describing it. But I thought, even in the chase, a Bangladesh side, how they would try and win a game is predominantly with their spin, just chopping and changing and creating a little bit of pressure in different ways. But if you look at how we bowled and how we batted, we negated, I suppose, any pressure being built. And then on top, we recognised the opportunity to drive things on.
And just one more question about that game. Obviously, you know Shakib very well, skippering him at KKR. How important was that experience in terms of sort of devising plans against his bowling and his batting?
Probably not significant at all. Shakib has been around for a long, long time. He's been one of the best all-rounders in the world for a long, long time. And he very rarely has bad days. He's that good of a player. So, I mean, we knew this before. I knew this before playing alongside him. And I suppose playing alongside him just makes you love the guy even more. He's a true lover of the game in every sense. His favourite format is Test match cricket. And he's extremely passionate about playing for Bangladesh. So, yeah, all of our plans didn't really revolve around anything that I picked up at Calcutta.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Last question, Adam Patel. Go ahead, Adam.
Hi, Owen. You mentioned you had a chance to watch Australia last evening. Have you had a chance to watch much of the other games? Anything in particular that stands out? You're looking forward to facing anyone, let's say, in the semi-finals?
I watched Scotland playing Namibia the other night, the back end of the chase. I think that's it. I haven't watched a lot, to be honest. The hotel here doesn't have the channel to watch the games.
Not had a chance to watch Pakistan?
No, I've not seen any of Pakistan.
No worries, Owen. Thanks.
Cheers, thank you.
Okay, I think we're done, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Have an enjoyable day, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, and thanks, Owen, for your time.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.